I'll write Part 1. The encounter in 800 words using simple English and third-person style with Korean names as requested. The morning sun glinted off the waves as Mina Kim walked along the beach. She carried her research tools in a weathered backpack. As a marine biologist, she spent most days studying ocean life on this small Pacific island. Today was different. Mina stopped suddenly. Through the morning mist, she saw something unusual at the water's edge. Two small shapes lay half buried in wet sand. Not fish, not seaweed. Something else. She approached carefully, her scientific mind racing with questions. When she got closer, she gasped and dropped to her knees. "What are you?" she whispered. Two small beings, no larger than human children, lay motionless on the sand. Their skin was a soft blue color that seemed to glow faintly from within. They had human-like bodies, but with thin, delicate limbs. Their heads were slightly larger than human proportions, with closed eyes that appeared oversized beneath their lids. Mina reached out slowly. Her hand trembled as she touched one of the beings. The skin felt cool and smooth, like polished glass. A faint pattern of crystal-like marks covered parts of their bodies, spreading slowly as she watched. One of the beings opened its eyes. They were deep purple with no pupils, just swirling colors like tiny galaxies. It made a soft chirping sound, and Mina felt something strange, a feeling in her mind like gentle fingers touching her thoughts. "You're hurt," she said, not knowing if they understood. "I can help you." The being's eyes seemed to grow brighter. The second one also opened its eyes now, looking at her with the same galaxy-filled gaze. More chirping sounds came, and with them, Mina felt images in her mind. A bright light, falling, pain, fear. She looked around nervously. The government had strict rules about finding unknown species. If these were aliens, and how could they be anything else? She was supposed to report it immediately. Military teams would come, scientists in protective suits would take over. These beings would become test subjects. Mina made her decision quickly. She carefully lifted both creatures, surprised at how light they were, and placed them in her large research container. She covered them with her jacket. "I'll help you," she promised. "Just stay quiet." Back at her small lab behind her beach house, Mina locked the doors and closed all windows. She gently placed the twins. She thought of them as twins because they looked identical, on a soft blanket on her examination table. Under better light, she could see they were badly injured. The crystal-like patterns were spreading across their skin. Where the pattern grew, the skin seemed to harden and crack. One of the twins reached out a four-fingered hand toward the other, and they linked fingers weakly. Mina's phone rang, making her jump. It was Taeho. "Are we still meeting to review the coral samples?" he asked. "Something's come up," Mina said, her voice shaking slightly. "Can you come over, and don't tell anyone?" 30 minutes later, Taeho stood frozen in her lab doorway. "Have you lost your mind?" he whispered, staring at the alien twins. "Do you know what the penalty is for not reporting this?" Taeho had been in the military before becoming a research assistant. He knew the protocols better than anyone. "Look at them," Mina said. "They're dying. If I report this, they'll be taken away, studied, cut open. They're intelligent, Taeho. They can communicate in my mind. I felt it." "That's impossible," he said, but his voice lacked conviction. One of the twins made a chirping sound again, and both Mina and Taeho felt a wave of emotion, gratitude mixed with fear. "Did you feel that?" Mina asked. Taeho nodded slowly, his face pale. "This is bigger than us, Mina. We're talking about proof of alien life. We're talking about two living beings who need help," she corrected. "Will you help me?" The twins' condition was getting worse. The crystal patterns now covered nearly half their bodies. Taeho sighed deeply. "What do you need me to do?" "First, we need medical supplies, and we need to understand what's happening with these crystal formations." As Taeho left to gather supplies, Mina gently scanned the twins with her research equipment. The readings made no sense, energy patterns unlike anything she'd ever seen. One twin reached up and touched her hand. Suddenly, Mina's mind filled with strange images. A vast field of stars. A beautiful world with two suns. And then darkness. Danger. A desperate mission. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Where did you come from?" The answer came not in words, but in feelings and fractured images. Something about scouts. Observers. A peaceful mission gone wrong. Mina knew one thing for certain. Helping these beings would change everything. It had been 3 days since Mina brought the alien twins to her lab. She barely slept, watching over them as the crystal patterns slowly stopped spreading. Tejo came every morning with fresh supplies and worried looks. "You look terrible," he told Mina on the 3rd day. "When did you last sleep?" Mina rubbed her tired eyes. "I'm fine. They're getting better. Look." The twins sat up on their makeshift bed. The blue glow of their skin was brighter now. They watched Mina and Tejo with their galaxy eyes making soft, chirping sounds. "Have you learned anything about them?" Tejo asked, keeping his distance. Mina nodded. "A little. It's hard to explain. They don't speak with words. They show me things in my mind, pictures, feelings." She paused. "I think their names are Rhea and Leo. At least that's what feels right when they share their thoughts." "That sounds impossible," Tejo said. As if in response, one of the twins, Leo, Mina thought, looked directly at Tejo and made a series of chirps. Suddenly, Tejo gasped and grabbed the table for support. "What was that?" he whispered. "They're talking to you," Mina said with a small smile. "Did you see anything?" Tejo's face was pale. "Stars. A ship. I felt peaceful but also worried." Mina nodded. "They're called the Lumini. Their home is far away. I don't understand." "How far?" "They came to watch us, to learn about Earth, not to harm anyone." Over the next few days, Mina created a simple system to communicate with the twins. She drew pictures and used simple words, while they responded with chirps and mental images. Slowly, they built understanding. One evening, as the sun set over the ocean, Rhea touched Mina's hand. Images flooded Mina's mind, a beautiful planet with rings like Saturn, tall crystal towers that sang in the wind, ships that moved between stars like fish through water. "Your home is beautiful," Mina whispered. Leo chirped sadly and shared another image. Their ship breaking apart high above Earth, the emergency escape, the crash into the ocean. "You've been watching us for a long time," Mina said, understanding. Their mental pictures. "Why?" The twins looked at each other, then at Mina. Together they projected an image of Earth seen from space, then zooming in on cities, technology, weapons. The feeling that came with it was clear: concern. "You're worried about us," Mina realized. "About how fast we're developing technology without growing in other ways." The twins nodded, their eyes glowing brighter in agreement. That night, Mina had strange dreams. She saw alien landscapes and felt the warmth of twin suns on her skin. She flew over crystal cities without a ship, just her body moving through the air. When she woke, the feeling stayed with her. In the bathroom, Mina noticed something strange. A small cut on her hand from yesterday's work was completely healed. She stared at it, confused. Later that day, as she worked in the lab while the twins watched, a glass beaker slipped from her hand. Without thinking, Mina reached out and the beaker stopped falling. It hung in the air for a second before dropping again. Mina caught it safely. The twins chirped excitedly. "Did you do that?" She asked them. "Or did I?" Their response came as a feeling. Both and neither. That evening, Tejo arrived looking worried. "The government knows something's up," he said quietly. "There's talk about unusual energy readings in this area. They're sending people to check." The idea, twins became agitated, their skin glowing brighter with stress. "We need to be careful," Mina said, trying to calm them. "No one knows you're here." But later that night, as Mina sat with the twins under the stars on her small deck, she felt something new in her connection with them, a warning. She looked up and saw a drone flying silently over the beach. Someone's looking for you, she whispered. The twins chirped softly. In Mina's mind appeared the image of people in dark uniforms, weapons ready, coming closer. We'll protect you, she promised, surprised at how natural it felt to say we instead of I. Mina didn't understand what was happening to her, but she knew one thing. Her connection with the twins was growing stronger each day, and it was changing her in ways she couldn't explain. The sound of helicopter blades woke Mina in the early morning. She rushed to the window and saw black vehicles on the beach road. Men in dark uniforms were walking door to door, showing something to her neighbors. They're here, she whispered to the twins who stood behind her. In 2 weeks, Leo and Rhea had recovered enough to walk around. Their blue skin glowed brightly in the dim room. Tejo burst through the back door. Government agents, he said, out of breath. They're asking about unusual energy readings. They have special equipment, scanners of some kind. Mina looked at the twins. Can they detect you? The twins chirped and sent her mental images of the devices the agents carried. The feeling that came with the images was clear. Yes, the machines could find them. We need to leave, Mina said. Now. They packed quickly, food, water, medical supplies. Tejo had his old military backpack ready. My family has a cabin in the mountains, he said. No one knows about it except my uncle. We can hide there. As they loaded Tejo's truck, Mina felt something strange, a warning sense. She turned to see a man in a black uniform watching them from down the street. He spoke into a radio. Drive, she told Tejo. Fast. They sped away just as more agents appeared. In the back seat, hidden under blankets, the twins chirped nervously. Who are they? Mina asked. Leo touched her shoulder from behind. Images flowed into her mind. Government facilities, scientists in white coats, creatures like the twins being studied. The feelings were dark. Fear, pain, death. They've found others, like you before, Mina realized, and it didn't end well. On the mountain roads, they saw helicopters searching the valleys below. Tejo drove skillfully through forest paths that barely qualified as roads. The cabin is off-grid, he explained. Solar power, well water. My uncle was paranoid about government surveillance. Smart man, Mina said. The cabin was small but sturdy, hidden among tall pine trees. As they unloaded their supplies, the twins stepped out of the truck and looked around in wonder. They chirped excitedly at the forest, the mountains, the open sky. I think they like it here, Tejo said with a small smile. That evening, as they sat around a small fire outside the cabin, Leo and Rhea revealed more about their mission. Through images and feelings, they explained they were part of a network of observers studying Earth. How long have your people been watching us? Mina asked. The twins projected an image of ancient humans building pyramids, then medieval castles, then modern cities. Centuries, Tejo whispered. They've been here all along. The next morning, Mina woke to find the twins outside in a small clearing. They were moving in a strange, dance-like pattern, their hands creating trails of light in the air. Plants around them seemed to grow faster, reaching toward them. Mina watched in amazement as a withered tree began to sprout new leaves where Leo touched it. Rhea placed her hands in a small stream and the water briefly glowed with the same blue light as their skin. Tejo joined Mina. What are they doing? I think they're connecting with the environment, she said. Maybe healing it? Later, when a helicopter flew too close to their location, Rhea raised her hands toward it. The helicopter's lights flickered and it turned away, as if its instruments had malfunctioned. That night, a storm hit the mountains. As rain pounded the cabin roof, Mina felt a new sensation. She could sense the storm, almost taste the electricity in the air. When she mentioned this to the twins, they seemed pleased, chirping happily. They're changing you, Tejo said quietly. Whatever connection you have with them, it's affecting you physically. Mina nodded slowly. I know. I can feel it. On the 5th day at the cabin, Tejo's satellite phone rang. It was his contact in the Coast Guard. They know where we are, he said after hanging up. Someone spotted the truck. They're calling it Operation Stardust. The man in charge, Commander Han, he's been tracking unusual events for years. He's convinced aliens are real and he wants to capture them. The twins chirped in alarm, their skin pulsing with bright light. How long do we have? Mina asked. A day. Maybe less. That night, as they planned their next move, Mina looked at the twins with new understanding. You came here for a reason, didn't you? It wasn't just to observe. You were looking for something or someone. The twins looked at each other, then at Mina. Their galaxy eyes seemed deeper than ever. Yes, they seemed to say without words. We found you. The storm grew worse as the night went on. Wind howled around the cabin, shaking the windows. Lightning cracked across the sky, followed by thunder that made the whole building tremble. Inside, the mood was just as dark. Leo had fallen ill suddenly. He lay on a makeshift bed, his blue skin turning dull gray in places. The crystal patterns, which had almost disappeared during his recovery, now spread rapidly across his chest. What's happening to him? Mina asked, her voice shaking. Rhea made soft, mournful chirping sounds as she knelt beside her twin. She placed her hands on Leo's chest, and a faint glow passed between them. It wasn't enough. Can we help? Tejo asked. Medicine? Water? Rhea looked up at them, her galaxy eyes dimming with worry. She touched Mina's hand, sending images that made little sense. Strange machines, glowing liquids, things that didn't exist on Earth. She needs something we don't have, Mina said. Something from their world. Outside, another lightning bolt struck nearby, lighting up the forest in brilliant white. Rhea suddenly chirped loudly and rushed to the window. She pointed at the lightning, then at Leo. Energy, Tejo realized. She needs energy to help him. Working quickly, they gathered metal objects from around the cabin, cooking pots, tools, anything that might conduct electricity. Following Rhea's instructions through mental images, Tejo built a simple lightning rod on the cabin roof. When everything was ready, Rhea placed her hands on the metal rod inside the cabin. She looked at Mina and projected a clear warning. Stay back. The next lightning strike hit their makeshift rod. Electricity surged down the metal and into Rhea's body. She glowed so brightly that Mina and Tejo had to shield their eyes. Rhea channeled the energy into Leo, who arched his back and made a sound they had never heard before, almost like singing. For a moment, both twins glowed with blinding light. Then suddenly, everything went dark. When Mina could see again, both twins were sitting up, looking stronger than ever. But something had changed. Their eyes seemed different, deeper, older somehow. Thank you, a voice said in Mina's mind. Not just feelings or images this time, but clear words. You can talk now? She asked in surprise. The energy reset our systems, Leo's voice said in her head. We can communicate more directly now. Tejo stepped back. I heard that too, he said. In my mind. Rhea stood up and approached them slowly. We must tell you the truth, her voice said in their minds. We are not what you think we are. What do you mean? Mina asked. Leo joined his twin. We are not the Lumini. We are creations of the Lumini. Think of us as biological machines, advanced technology in living form. Mina sat down heavily. Your robots? Artificial intelligence? More than that, Leo explained. We are vessels, designed to find compatible life forms, specific life forms. Compatible for what? Tejo asked, his voice tight with new suspicion. Rhea looked directly at Mina. For connection, for bonding, for saving our creators. As the twins explained, Mina felt her world shifting. The Lumini, the real Lumini, were an ancient species from a distant star system. Their world was dying, not just their planet, but their physical forms. After millions of years of evolution, they had reached a point where their bodies could no longer sustain their advanced consciousness. They created us to find hope, Leo said, to find species that might be compatible with their consciousness. Compatible? How? Mina asked, though she was beginning to understand. Ria touched Mina's hand gently. Since we met, your body has been changing. The dreams, the healing, the new abilities, these are signs of compatibility. You've been changing me? Mina whispered. Preparing you, Leo corrected. Testing if you could accept Illuminate consciousness without harm. Tejo stood up angrily. You've been experimenting on her without consent. No, Mina said suddenly, understanding flooding her mind. They've been helping me see what's possible. She looked at the twins. That's why I can feel the storm. Why I could stop the beaker from falling. You're showing me what I could become. Yes, the twins said together in her mind. And you are perfect. The morning sun broke through the clouds as the storm finally est. Mina stood by the cabin window, watching the forest come alive with new day. Behind her, Leo and Ria sat with Tejo, explaining more about their creator's plan. It's not invasion, Leo's voice said in their minds. It's symbiosis, a joining that benefits both. Tejo remained skeptical. So these Lumini want to, what? Take over human bodies? Not take over, Ria corrected gently. Join with. The human remains but gains the knowledge and abilities of the Lumini. The Lumini gains a new physical form and perspective. And what happens to the original human consciousness? Tejo pressed. Does it get erased? No, Leo said. It merges. Two become one, greater than either alone. Mina turned from the window. Like what's been happening to me already. The dreams, the abilities. They're glimpses of what full joining would be like. Before they could discuss further, Tejo's satellite phone beeped with an alert. He checked it and his face grew pale. They're here. Military vehicles just turned onto the forest road, maybe 20 minutes away. Mina looked at the twins. Commander Han is coming for you. For us, Ria corrected. They detected your changes too. They quickly gathered their few belongings. As Tejo checked the back path for escape routes, he found something strange in the old storage shed. A dusty box filled with books and journals. Mina, he called. Look at this. The box contained his uncle's research journals. Tejo flipped through them frantically. My uncle wasn't just paranoid, he said in disbelief. He was a researcher. These journals, they're full of accounts of people throughout history who displayed unusual abilities. Healers who could cure with a touch. People who could predict disasters. Children who could move objects with their minds. He showed Mina a page with an old photograph. A woman stood beside a withered tree that was sprouting new leaves where she touched it, just like Leo had done. There have been others, Mina whispered. Other joinings. Many others, Leo confirmed. Throughout human history, small numbers carefully chosen. The sound of vehicles growing closer broke their conversation. Through the trees, they could see dust rising from the forest road. We have to decide now, Ria said urgently. Mina, you must choose. Join with Illuminate consciousness and help us continue our work on Earth or remain as you are. If I join, Mina asked, what happens? You become more than human, Leo explained, part of a greater whole. You help us find others who are compatible. Together we work toward a future where both species evolve into something new. And if I refuse? Ria's galaxy eyes dimmed slightly. We respect your choice. We find another way. The first military vehicle appeared at the end of the cabin's driveway. Men in black uniforms jumped out, carrying strange equipment. At their center stood a stern-faced man who must be Commander Han. Surrender the aliens, Han's voice boomed through a speaker. We have the cabin surrounded. Tejo looked at Mina. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. Mina took a deep breath and stepped onto the cabin porch, facing Commander Han and his team. The morning sun caught in her hair, creating almost a halo effect. Behind her, the twins waited silently. Those aren't just aliens you're after, she called out. They're the future. Our future. Han raised his hand, signaling his team to ready their weapons. Step aside, Dr. Kim. Those creatures are property of the government now. Mina felt something shift inside her. knowledge flooding in, certainty growing. She had made her choice. She raised her hands toward the sky, feeling energy flow through her body like the lightning had flowed through Rhea. "No," she said simply. "Their family." As Commander Han ordered his men to advance, Mina felt the twins link their minds completely with hers. In that moment, she understood everything. The true age of the Lumini, their peaceful intentions, their hope for a shared future. Not conquest, but evolution. Not loss, but transformation. With a gentle smile, she took her first step as something more than human, and something truly began.